So, with the release of Shadow and Bone, this is officially the start of the tidal wave of fantasy adaptations that are supposed to come out in the next year or so, and there are going to be a lot of them. Now, I'm still trying to figure out a format for these reviews, so anything I talk about right now, the timestamps are going to be in the description. Right now, I'm going to tell you what the show is and what it's about. Then, I'm going to tell you what the show is not, because there are a lot of misconceptions about it online. After that, I'm going to talk to you about if the show is worth watching, and if not, why not. Shadow and Bone is the latest fantasy adaptation by Netflix. Right now, it has one season with 8 episodes, and it has been adapted from the Grisha verse by Lee Bardugo. The story is about Elena Starkov. She is the chosen one in the story, but she doesn't know she is the chosen one. Typical YA fantasy stuff. The story takes place in a place called Ravka. Now, Ravka has been divided into two parts, East Ravka and West Ravka, by something called the Fold. Now, the Fold is just a big blob of darkness, and this is so big that it has divided a whole country in half. And of course, it's dangerous because there are creatures living in the darkness called the Volcra. Now, to complete this fantasy universe, there are a small group of people who can use magic or very complicated science who are known as the Grisha. It's mostly elemental magic, think Avatar The Last Airbender, but there are also a lot of other things. Elemental magic is the most common one. Also, there's guns and it's inspired by Russia. As for what the show is not, it's not the next Game of Thrones or the next Witcher, because it's not trying to be. Just because it's fantasy doesn't mean it's all going to be the same. Shadow and Bone is a young adult fantasy. If 70% of it is fantasy, 30% is going to be teen drama and stuff like that. Parts of this show are going to be more similar to the Hunger Games than they are to something like The Witcher. I need to mention this because I've seen a lot of people making this comparison, and it is not fair to the show, and it's definitely not fair to the audience because it creates false expectations, and those are never good. So with that all out of the way, let's talk about what the show is really like.
Bit slow on the draw there.
Or just in time.
The show focuses on three major plot lines. First is of course about Elena and how she is the mapmaker for the Ravkan army. There's of course other major characters in this plotline, but this plotline is the most fantasy and also the most teen. Then there's the second plotline with the crows. This plotline feels like a completely different show, but in a good way. It is adapted from The Six of Crows, which is a fantasy crime thriller heist series, and it has major Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes vibes. Both of these plotlines are really good on their own, but they become even better when they merge together. Now, the third plotline is the weakest plotline in the series. I can't spoil it because it starts around the third episode of the series, but it definitely feels the most pointless of all the plotlines and is easily the weakest part about the series. Luckily, this plotline only takes about 5 to 10% of the whole series, so it won't get too boring for you. Now, if you don't watch or read a lot of fantasy, the first episode is going to be pretty hard to get through. Not because it's bad, but because it's the most fantasy series that we have seen in a while. The characters are just going to mention random fictional cities or random fictional jobs that only exist in that universe. And it can get overwhelming for someone who is not used to that. You might even feel like you are missing out on something, but believe me, it gets a lot better after the second episode because you get accustomed to this new universe, new world. Unfortunately, that's also when the series will be the most divisive, because the middle of the show is the most teen drama that this show gets. At times, it feels like you are watching a CW teen drama series. There's a love triangle because, of course, every young adult series needs a love triangle. There's the mean girl, characters making dumb decisions, the whole package. This I feel like is going to be either the deal maker or the deal breaker for people. Almost everyone is going to like the Crow storyline, but this is more complicated. If you like teen dramas, you're going to love this. If you don't like teen dramas but they don't bother you, then this show is still going to be really good for you. But if you can't stand teen drama or the tropes associated with it, the middle part of this show is going to be really hard for you to get through. But I still think the best part of this series are the characters. Apart from the third storyline that I can't mention, I loved almost all the characters. especially the crows. Their group dynamic is really well done. And this show has a really good antagonist for a young adult series, which is rare to find. I can't say any more than that because it's a pretty big spoiler, but I mean, it's fairly predictable still, but the overall the antagonist is done really well. I also have a few nitpicks which you may or may not notice, but it's my job to mention them. Overall, the CGI is really good, but there are a few scenes in the dark, especially fight scenes, that don't look very nice. Also, there's some really weird cuts in these fights, like some scenes are missing in between, and it becomes quite jarring if you notice it a few times. Also, as I mentioned, the series is fairly predictable. There are a few decent twists, but nothing mind-blowing if you have seen enough fantasy series. Also, for a fantasy heavy series, there isn't a lot of magic that we get to see. I would love to see a bit more of the magic system, especially different uses of that magic. I'll give you an example. So we have the Fold, and people still travel through it using sandscapes, which are basically land ships, but you need wind to run it. So there's always a Grisha with them who can control air. That kind of stuff is super cool, that the magic is used for more than just fighting and healing and the basic stuff. All in all, if you can get past the few shortcomings that I have mentioned, this is a really solid series. It's a really solid series, but for most people, I think the characters are going to be easily the most memorable part. The CGI is good, but nothing mind-blowing. The cinematography is good, but again, nothing too exceptional. By technical standpoint, the music might be the weakest part of the series. Again, not because it's bad, it just serves its purpose. You are going to forget about the music as soon as you finish the series. It's nothing you will put as your ringtone or you're going to listen to over and over on Spotify. I'm definitely looking for the next season because as much as I don't like the very teen stuff, I hate love triangles, especially the forced ones, the ones that are not good. But I still really enjoyed the series. I love the fantasy elements, would love to see more of the magic system. And I think there are going to be 2 more seasons because there are 3 books and they have already adapted 1 book and some parts from Six of Crows. So I'm not sure how they are going to plan that out. If there's a Six of Crows series just about the crows, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be worth seeing. But again, if you put your time into this series, you're probably not going to be disappointed. Just remember everything I've told you because you might be expecting something else. So there's that. And if you have watched till the end of the video, first of all, thank you for watching. Second, if you have seen the show already, do let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't, then also let me know if you're going to watch it or you are going to skip it. Definitely a really solid fantasy series, and I'll see you next time.